The previous episode ulisema uko single. Reasons as to and later down the line maybe you'd want to get down with someone.
I didn't say I'm single. Maybe I am.
Would you like to get cuffed or married to a healthcare worker? Like, are you willing to tie it down with a healthcare worker?
Yes. If I find the right person who's a healthcare worker, be it a nurse, be it a doctor, be it a technologist.
Can you give like 2 reasons for why you would date a healthcare worker?
I impersonate that shit. You see, I'm the flyest here, innit? But we all fly, innit? On top of that, we here recording with my G.
Yeah,
what's good, Wagwan? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
Yeah, so
I'm missing an accent. Me as Jonah Top Boy. I don't watch anything.
You just watch what you like anyway.
Yeah, again, me and my friend, my brother here, Dr.
Don Dimble, in the house.
In the house. We had a good day today at the Medic Expo.
Interesting day.
Yeah, very interesting. So many things we saw today.
Yeah. And it was a beautiful expression, and we were exposed to a lot of things that are very new to our field. Yeah. And that just shows you how fast our field will grow in the next coming 10 years, which we were talking about as well.
Tuliambia medical people within the medical fraternity right now to venture into tech and medicine.
Yeah, tech
you
and
saw
medicine.
The drone today?
Yeah, that drone looked beautiful.
That drone was cool.
That's a beautiful concept to implement in different areas of our country, especially semi-arid and arid regions or the less fortunate communities in our country. You might benefit from that shit.
A lot. So
we'll post a video about what we saw.
What intrigued us.
Points. Yeah, because there was a lot. There was a lot of things. I met a lot of entrepreneurs from different parts of the world.
Everywhere.
Germany, South Africa, China, my good people of China.
We should have gone together by there today. The guy we met today was from China. How do you say
hi in Chinese?
Ni hao.
Ni hao. I need to learn more. Because them people are business-minded and they have like a lot of things to offer us that we can benefit from as the medical fraternity. Whether we should remove out that tag mentality of made in China is always going to be fake. There are a lot of good things that come from China at a good price.
Very many things come from China, by the way. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, by the way. This is episode 3 of the Laughing Lab Coat. Yeah.
We are repping as per always.
Kama kawaida. Me, your host, Elias. Don't forget to like, share.
Subscribe, my G's. I'm your co-host, Dr. Dimble. So today we're going to talk about, we had a recent video that has sparked a bit of conversations on different platforms.
Very interesting
about
conversations.
Would you rather choose, and I believe this just highlights that all of us are different and everyone is special in their own unique ways.
We learned several things from that video. One being the mindset between those two conditions.
Exactly.
Pathophysiologically, they're not similar at all.
Yeah,
but they do
share similarities
in terms of how they impact the lives of people.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
Like once you are having this diagnosis made, you won't be living the same way as But you made very, very strong argumentative points for why you'd rather have HIV over diabetes.
Mine are simple by the Miri daktari, but I try to find simplicity in whatever point I might want to give out at the end of the day. I don't want to complicate it for the audience or for my colleagues. And the thing is, there are 2 things about HIV and diabetes. Number one, let's talk about the con, which is the stigma. The stigma in HIV/AIDS is out of this world, and it's understandable because it's affected with a part in our society that we don't talk about a lot, which is the sexual relations or the sexual parts of our reproductive body. And you getting HIV from predominantly sex, because that's like not the only cause, but it's the major cause. There's that huge stigma in society where people are like, this person is evil to get this disease.
It highlighted, that video highlighted the stigma towards HIV.
But
isn't it?
You can now, here comes my point of view, is that if you take a patient with HIV today and you have a patient with diabetes, you start this patient on diabetes with anti-diabetic drugs. This one, you give him the most up-to-date ARVs, most up-to-date anti-diabetics. And then you see their projectile in the next 10 years if they're both eating normal uncontrolled diets. which Mimi, I love to eat. I love my food.
I love it. Sometimes junk happen na pale Simba.
Say sometimes. As you know, I'm struggling. Pesa kidogo matumbo tu.
But unaona? One major thing you have said
is the diet in those two. If you don't maintain one, if you don't maintain both, in 10 years, the person with diabetes would have aged 10 years more than the person with HIV/AIDS.
Wow.
Because if you can't control your diet in diabetes, you can't control your sugars. Because one of the main components of sugar control is dietary change.
Dietary change.
But HIV, you eat your ARVs and you have like a diet where you can indulge yourself. In the next 10 years, as long as your ARVs are good, your CD4 count is up, your viral load is down, my G is still glowing.
You're still glowing.
Glowing. But yeah, there are other comorbidities where in HIV you can get it to spread to different parts of the body. It reduces your immunity. I agree with that.
There is something, this topic of HIV, that has raised very important questions. For the fact that now there is this medication, that an injection, antiviral injection.
You've seen that?
Yeah. Where you have, once every 2 months.
Yeah.
Once every 2 months. That reduces the side effects of the pills from the pills you take. Also taking a pill every day. But remember, people with HIV, again, also, once you're on the pill, there are chances. What about the chances of spread to your significant others?
Yes, there is a chance. But now with this new medication and the viral load because when they're introducing new medication to the market for HIV, one of the main things they look at is how it affects your viral load. Is one of the main things, among other factors, like how it raises the CD4 count, how it can help you handle other comorbidities that might come with HIV. But the CD4 and the viral load kwanza drops. And there are some studies that have been done that show that the viral load can drop so low that if you sleep with someone unprotected with HIV, you can sleep with them and they don't get any diseases.
You won't.
And on top of that, if you sleep with someone with HIV and you have a relationship, a long-term relationship, and you're using PrEP or PEP.
If you don't know what PrEP is, PrEP is pre-exposure, and PEP is post-exposure. Like what we get as medics when you have like PrEP. Injuries, needle stick injuries.
For people in relationships now, it's PrEP.
When you go and have some affair somewhere or whatever without protection.
But that doesn't protect you from STDs, so just know that there's multiple facets to that.
And there is a time limit.
Yes, there's a time limit. Well.
Yeah.
So that being said, there is that. But they all have a lot of challenges. I'm not putting down diabetes. Diabetes also has like a lot of challenges. But if you manage it well as well, and you have a very good diet, you can live with diabetes.
You can.
Other thing is with diabetes is the amputations.
Okay.
So especially when you're in
the wounds, the ulcers,
the surgical department.
Yeah.
It scares me, man.
Oh.
But I know
those wounds have a distinct.
And you know, one thing is people say you can't spread diabetes, but technically it is spread. You know
how?
Genetically.
Yeah, it is.
It's spread along a genetic line.
But
so for example, in our family, my grandfather or my cousin, let's say my uncle on my dad's side, had diabetes and died of it. His son died of diabetes. My other is like trying to protect himself from diabetes. So it's in the genetic line. So if I don't take care of myself and stop eating all these sweets I love, eventually I might start getting pre-diabetic signs. And I'm at risk of it. So people like that should know if you are at risk of diabetes, like you have a family history, you should start taking care in your late 20s. Latest. Your late 20s and your 30s is when you build up to how your body will be reacting towards these conditions in your 40s and your 50s. If you eat healthy, don't smoke, don't drink, you look immaculate still in your 40s. Same for HIV.
Yeah. When it comes to HIV, tell us one thing about this condition in terms of spread, especially from the mother-to-child transmission.
Mother-to-child transmission, now that is very important. That's why we have that ANC profile and that ANC book. So especially walaalehen Somaliyed, I like to say it in Somali because walaalehen Somaliyed marka uur leedahay buugaas oo lagu siiyo uurka ogow ina sii dabaraacisid ina aadaysid hospitaalka oo lagu sii arko baaritaan lagu sameeyo because waxaad jiri karto bisha toddobaad ina infection heli kartid ina ogaatid wax ka fiican ma leh so buugaas ina la haysto waaye. That's what I'm saying to my Somali people. To the rest, when you go to hospital, follow up.
There's some very, very, very Abuan, like top-notch Somali coming from you.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
Try my best.
As the vice president of Somali Jewish Society, what do you have to say about it?
I try my best,
Inshallah.
That ANC book, if you follow it up and the mother is put on a strict regimen of follow-up and medication, mother-to-child can be prevented. Yeah. Mother-to-child spread of HIV/AIDS can be prevented with proper medical advice and intervention.
That's very nice. Those are very key points from Dr. Don about HIV. Take-home message is also on the stigma. So HIV is like any other condition.
Yeah, it's like any other condition, and the speed at which our medical fraternity all over the world is growing, don't be stunned or shocked if there is a cure for HIV in the not so distant future.
Do you believe there's other types of medicine where they say they cured HIV?
I'll have to believe until I see the results.
Kama kina Pastor Ura kikwambia na cure HIV.
What I'll do is I'll make a study group. I'll take patients with HIV. We see what Pastor Ador do. We take like scientific results and spiritual results. I respect the spirituality of every person in the world. Everyone has a diversity of religion, the Muslims, Christians. I respect that. And that God eventually is the one who heals, because I believe that as well.
That's true. That's very true.
God heals.
Yeah.
So for Pastor War, we can come to an agreement, like let me make a study on how you can help cure cancer, or you can help treat HIV/AIDS if you say you can.
Yeah.
Then we take a study group. We have a lot of people with HIV.
Yeah.
Tuwapelekea wale wenye ni wagonjwa sana, wale wenye kuna wagonjwa kidogo. We do a study.
That was very short reports on the previous episode, shorts rather, that we did.
Did you know HIV attacks the part of your immune system that fights infections, weakening it and making you at risk for deadly diseases? The virus can be transmitted through sex, injuries, birth, and breastfeeding. Medications aim to reduce the amount of virus and transmission. Therefore, early initiation of treatment is encouraged. Remember to attend your clinic in order to monitor your viral load and practice safe sex. HIV is not curable, but can be managed with proper care and follow-up at your clinic.
The previous episode ulisema uko single. Reasons as to and later down the line maybe you'd want to get down with someone.
I didn't say I'm single. Maybe I am.
Would you like to get cuffed or married to a healthcare worker? Like, are you willing to tie it down with a healthcare worker?
Yes. If I find the right person who's a healthcare worker, be it a nurse, be it a doctor, be it a technologist.
Can you give like 2 reasons for why you would date a healthcare worker?
Personally, for example, let me use us as an example, a doctor. So if you are to date a doctor, the pros of it is you will have a compassionate, intellectually balanced person who is naturally being trained to be a caregiver.
Okay.
Mtu mwenye anapoesha watu. Hiyo ni kazi yake. Ukienda hospitali kazi yako ni
kutafuta daktari, kuponya watu.
Kuponya watu, like, because somebody comes to you. How many times has it happened? Somebody comes to you, you don't know what's going on, but you try to find the answer, but you also try and give them peace of mind, calm them down, try to communicate to them in a way that we are trying to find an answer to help you get out of this condition.
Look, you are a therapist inside there. Tunafaa kupatiwa certificate ya therapy.
Kuna certificate ya therapy. The longer you do it, the better you become. So you get like a person who is compassionate, who you can talk to and tell your problems and your issues. So I guess you'll find a partner who will be there for you when the times are tough. Na pia when you get out of the trenches and you're making it big, it's
kapesa kakiingia.
Kapesa kakiingia mtu mwenye, if you need instant healthcare in the future for your kids, for your husband, for your wife, if you're a healthcare worker, you know where to start.
One other reason why to date a healthcare worker is we're always there for almost everyone. We know our way around healthcare in Kenya. It's very easy. Mtu akikuwa mgonjwa, we know what to do. We know which hospitals to take you.
How many Javier's and others send you messages. Just doctor daawada aan ali qoro and I'm not feeling like it's helping me tahay. Eat it, mom.
Yeah.
And you have to do it.
You have to, bro. You have to give back to society. Yeah.
Exactly. So you get that compassionate person and you get to know things every day and you hear everyday interesting stories because if you are spouses with them, you're confident, you're their confident. The stories we tell can kind of be interesting because you meet different types of people. I've met a lot of different types of people. Wow. Faces. Some I remember, some I don't. But I still
on an average, I think we are like unapata watu wengi, like so many faces you see, especially during clinics. Your journey through med school, ukiwa job, I don't know watu wengi.
Thousands of people. Yeah. Exactly. That's what you get. I won't talk about the cons. Don't eat toxic. You don't like it, but it's human nature. It's good nature. And bad. You can't be perfect. That's a lie.
Yeah. So one more reason why you would date a healthcare worker ni gani ingine?
Personally, now let me go again. I would like to date a nurse.
Okay.
Those nurses are naturally caring and beautiful.
Okay.
And like imagine when you're in a hospital, the people who actually are there for the patients 24/7 are nurses.
That's true.
They help them change. They help them eat. Like they are the order during and with or without chaos. They are the ones who bring balance to the hospital.
Something very important was mentioned by some guy on Twitter. I wish I had his handle, but I think I bookmarked this tweet. This guy was saying the number of patients you have interacted with during their final times, or like when they're on their deathbed or hospital, you want to suffer, who is always almost always by their side.
The nurses.
No, apart from the nurses, family wise, like who around you is always by
your mom.
Okay, this guy was saying it's your wife.
Your wife, your mom. Yeah, those two.
Yeah, one of those two.
Yeah, so mainly it's your wife, your mom.
That is okay. So like, so he did like a mental study over the people who are good to their partners and the people who are bad to their partners. So alikuwa nasema people who are good to their partners are always there during their hardships, their bad times. And people who are like not good to their partners, walikuwa nafanyiwa na nurses. The nurses would be there for you.
Kidoka unatokwa.
But people who are good to their partners are like partner wanakuja daily, 2 times a day, wanaikaa hapo. Even you have seen. Kweli uongo, especially in the male ward.
Wow. There are a lot of women who I'm just like, I admire them. Women are just like caring. The women were created to be caring beings. So if you find a woman who's caring for you, I think that's always a good thing. On top of that, men can be caring as well.
I've seen caring male partners as well in the female department.
Yeah, wow.
Guys are always there. Kudos to the men, but they're for picking up their game in terms of coming with their spouses or partners to
the hospital.
I've
seen a good upsurge. Mwendele wanaume. If your wife is pregnant, go with her to clinics, find out what's bothering her. You know, this journey, she didn't get pregnant on her own. It's your baby.
Yeah.
I even advise them to go to the delivery room.
What a feint.
That's the thing. Whether you faint or not, you know, unless you're planning to have one kid, that's the process of birth. That's the process of your child coming into this world. It's a beautiful process. If you try and just remove all that is painted out there, yes, there is shouting, but that baby is getting its first breath.
See, when you are ukiona hiyo na wao ukiona hiyo, guys, comment down, or like we'll make a poll. How many guys are willing to go into the labor room?
With your wife.
Yeah, and see the baby come out.
Exactly.
How many?
That should be a poll.
Yeah.
And then we can find out if we have actually upped our game and if we're willing to up it some more. Because it can always... Because I feel that's upping your game.
I think
some people might find it soft.
Bro. Men are going to faint.
No, only if you're a soft man.
Really?
Yeah.
Your first time seeing a delivery, you didn't feel dizzy?
Nah.
Me, I felt dizzy, man.
Yes, there is that dizziness. You will feel it. Your first time, me, when I was in med school, I was in maternity, Kenyatta.
What the hell?
Yes, I agree. Actually, now that I remember it, I was sweating.
So again,
like the forehead sweats ilikuwa ile kwa macho. Mask imekuwa wet hapa yote.
So mtuambie, how many of you
would be willing to get that experience?
Yeah, to get the experience, to go see wherever everything expands in the blood.
What would you advise the men?
It's life changing. Once you see it, you can never unsee it.
Yeah.
it's life changing. Sometimes it helps you.
Get
It helps you
appreciation
connect.
for your wife.
You will appreciate your woman 1,000,000%.
You connect with her.
Yeah.
Kwanzaa, if you're there at that moment, that's like the end of the journey.
Before the break, we were talking about men coming into the delivery room with their wives
and watching or observing the process of giving birth to children.
Yeah. Would you go into
as a husband?
As a husband
to your wife.
Would you go into the delivery room? How about you?
I was advising. Actually, I'm of the opinion that I would advise men to go with their wives to the maternity room, especially during that period of delivery, in the final stages where the baby is coming out. Because hata din ahan unaambiwa oni murku soda show ina adhan ko akhrisi dua. You know that's how it is.
It's okay, but the baby can be taken out from the labor room.
But sasa, you see, the thing is, immediately the child is born, the first words that he should hear are an adhan, right?
But unfortunately, that's not the case.
It's not the case.
The nurse is saying push.
Push her, push. That's the thing. I'm not saying that when the baby comes out, push with the mate. But when the baby comes out, push with the mate, and the baby starts to
nurses' voices are the first they hear.
Yeah, but conventionally, it should be among the first voices.
Yeah.
That's debatable.
Yeah.
Social perspective. How is it about the social perspective?
From social perspective, what benefit?
It's a bond.
Now
let me tell you what I think is your child.
Let me finish the question. I want to ask two questions.
Okay. Two in one.
Yes. So also from ethical perspective, a reason why you are not allowed to treat your relatives is you are emotionally attached to them, number one. Because you are emotionally attached to them, you can't make good decisions for them. Number two, the other reason why you're not allowed to go in there is you can't tolerate.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yes, not actually, but that period is painful somehow.
Won't that make you be more proud or loving to your partner?
It will improve your bond to your wife.
Can you watch your relatives being operated?
It's hard. That conventionally no, but this is not an operation. This is a natural process of life.
Let me ask you a question.
That has been happening since the beginning of time. And that being said, back in the old days, if you are with your wife, but now you're in a facility where you can go to your wife. She is in safe hands. That pain is going to be managed, except for the amount that is required for the birth process to go on. And if you watch that process, I believe it's a different experience. I feel it's an experience every man should try at least once. At least for a first baby. If you don't like it, don't do it again.
Yeah.
But I would advise it to be for your child, because this is your first child. This is the first time ever a baby is coming out.
Down in the poll, how many of you would like your partners to be with them in the labor room? Or how many of you are willing to accompany their partners into the labor room?
What's your take on this?
Me, I'd go once.
Yeah.
I'd go for the first kid.
Yeah, it's like a special experience, I feel.
Yeah.
The first one is always unique. It's like your first wife.
Yeah.
Or your first love.
Yeah.
The first one is always it's a memorable one.
So you don't go for the second wife's delivery?
That's how
you have to.
Open to interpretation. That's what I would say.
Yeah, very political answers.
Akim has taught me to be political with some of these answers. Because I know there's a huge audience out there that I don't want to upset.
Okay.
But you have to be honest as well. It's open to interpretation.
If you do it for the first wife, you do it for the second wife.
It's haq.
Yeah.
So if you do it, you gotta stay honorable till the end.
You should do justice.
Yeah, you have to.
For one, you should attend for the other.
Yeah.
So what you'll do is the firstborn for every wife.
Maybe.
If you go for the second one of any,
you must go for all. Yeah. It should be everything should be equal. Be it the affection or the attention you provide.
We forgot to ask you. You know, we also our episode today is home and hospital, the love life among healthcare workers. So I was asking this guy if he would date a healthcare worker, and they gave me 2 reasons why he would.
Why he would?
Yeah.
I would be open to that idea.
Yeah. He gave me 2 reasons why he would date a healthcare worker.
Yeah.
Now, you as a doctor, would you marry 4 women or more than 1 wife? You as Abdussamad, no, a personal question. Yeah, you as you.
There is a possibility. There is a very real possibility that I can. I won't lie about it. But see, that's the thing. It's open to interpretation as well. Because I married my first wife.
Bro, you're bringing lawyer answers.
Yeah,
like every question, it depends.
Now let me tell you how it depends. Also from my point of view.
Okay.
If I find a first wife and she's everything I need, and I'm settled with her, I don't think I'd push it. But if a circumstance comes up that
she has all the 4 personalities.
Yeah, if she has the 4 personalities, I'm safe. I'm set. But I might also find someone in my 40s who I love. You can love multiple people.
The 2 reasons why you would marry.
It's 2 reasons. You're gonna hear them in the pod. He already said them a long time ago. But his 2 reasons were cool.
Yeah, because like healthcare workers generally, your work involves compassionate care. For you to be a good doctor, for example. So compassion is a lifestyle for you. So you know how to be, for us men, a gentleman, for the women to be ladies of honor and respectability. That being said, that's how we come up through our career, and that's what is expected of us, and that's how we'll also take care of our spouses. And access to free medical advice.
Yeah, that's one big benefit.
For you and for your family.
For her family too.
Yeah.
Children.
Yeah.
So if you marry a pediatrician, you're safe.
Yeah.
If you become an orthopedic surgeon, if your child has a break, you won't treat them, but you know, I've worked with this orthopedic surgeon. With kids, he's the best.
Yeah, and if your kid is starting to get sick at home, they're gonna notice the signs very fast.
It also reduces the tension.
Yeah.
Because you've been in pressure situations,
because they don't know they're suffering. They worry more than they should.
Exactly. But you may honor, you've seen that stuff. So there's no heightened anxiety or pressure to that situation. For example, there's a friend of mine we were talking today. He had a medical condition and he went to Google and he was like, damn.
Dr. Google.
Dr. Google told him, nigga, you have cancer. Nigga, you dying. And then he came to me and we talked. Among our many stories, he told me, I'm feeling like this and that. And I was like, my G, this is just a small thing. Take down this, that, and this. And you'll be as good as new. I've actually had that condition as well. It's a very small, minor, manageable condition. But when he went to Google, you see, when you're making your differential diagnosis, you might have 5 differentials. His was number 15. He gave me.
To Google their symptoms are funniest. I found a patient had the rashes on the hand. Apparently, she Googled. Google told her she's having tinea capitis.
Oh, okay.
So it becomes hard to convince that tinea capitis
it's not it.
Does not affect the hands. Google has already done the damage.
Yeah, like every Somali person out there believes they have ceftriaxone deficiency. Fever. Antibiotic alutokalaji walisi.
About to save very fast. Na PCM ikifuatanga 500 mg. Go home. But there's more to it.
There's more to it. But this has been our episode of home and healthcare, home and whatever. Like, just would you date a healthcare worker?
Social vibes.
It would be nice to also hear the contrary. Why you wouldn't, like disadvantage.
I won't say that.
Let me tell you about disadvantage. This guy is afraid.
Everything
has pros and cons. Let me be the bad guy.
Expose us. I will not expose my people. Find out for yourself.
The reasons not to date a healthcare worker. Reason number 1, time. Reason number 2, they work for time, they work overnight. They have night shift. Wewe saa hiyo kuna baridi kitandani ni katikati ya
Januari.
No, achana na hiyo ngoma sasa tu.
Katikati ya Januari. Chafua.
Acha hiyo story. But which is the coldest month in Kenya? July, no? Ni katikati ya July. Wewe unataka usiku joto.
Night shift.
Ninja ako theater.
Amesimama tu hapo. So that's number 1 time.
Chances of being cheated on.
Tulisema
the better you become at your work.
At your work. Another one, these people, they do not know how to separate the hospital from the home. Like uko home but unapigiwa simu, daktari kuna ule patient ako hivi. Unapata sema tuko unabonga sema
unatoka tu samoke ndanga
ama ukoenda demo wako alafu unapigiwa na covering ama exchange
kuja sahi kwa kukol wewe unafanya nini hata mtu mwenye mkono wewe
ama umhao umeenda date hapo unasikia alafu simu inapigiwa kuna patient hafadhu hanijira qof xanuunsan unaona interruptions are many.
It destroys the vibe.
Yeah, interruptions are many.
But still, there are enough reasons to date.
The reasons.
There are a lot of
the pros are more. The pros are more.
But there are cons.
But you have to handle the cons. They want to date healthcare workers. People they want to date healthcare workers. People in scrub look way better.
Yeah, certain people in scrubs. They just like they don't want to get that attention necessarily. They want to do their jobs, but the attention just comes as part of the job.
Part of the job. Yeah.
So nurses, they actually do go through a lot.
Kwani uvange scrubs? How many times have you been called a nurse kwa ward?
Nimezoea. Hata inistu because we young kishadunganga scrubs. Hadi unaambia soma hapo.
Lazima ongeze. Mimi hata navaa tu hiyo top Nasra. Very
bila lab wazee you get a lot of suspicious calls, but I don't mind. If someone calls me a nurse ndamkuja nimwambie sema.
Yeah. But anyway, that has been why you should not date. You should date healthcare workers. Yeah, depends on you.
There are good ones. There are ones that might not be the best. But you should aim for someone you get the best out of. The best out of you.
Yeah, that has been me, your host, Elias.
And me, Dr. Dimble.
Don't forget to...
Behind the camera,
Dr. Mohako behind the camera. Yeah. So don't forget to...
Till you meet again next time.
Till you meet again next time, inshallah. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Tell a bestie to tell a bestie.
Tell a friend to tell a friend, yeah? Peace out.
Peace out.
Quality content to come.